what must stop and what must start. That really is important when you're leading change. So where do you begin? Well, first it's like, why are we changing? Again, go back to the why. There are a million reasons, but really you as leader of the change must articulate it. And if you're not good at it, get somebody that can help you create a script, memorize it, practice it on your family at home, and go in so that when you tell somebody, guess what? We're going to merge departments. That they don't fall off the chair, right? Know what you're saying before you say it. Why are you going to improve? These are all reasons to improve. There's lots of reasons to improve. We see them every day. Every day we live on these things. But have your story organized. So, that was just factor one. Now we're up to factor two. Truths. And this is part of what the Baldrige folks go through. Oh, we're not as good as we thought we were? How can they say that? How can they say the system's not efficient? We've worked like this for years. We've perfected it, in fact. You know, how? No. So get a grip on reality. On yourself first, you know. Get a hold of what your weaknesses are, because we all have them, I hate to tell you. Know your weaknesses, because you're vulnerable too as a leader. Look at the systems. Look at the truths. Know your starting point, right? This time spent up front, thinking, analyzing, before you even announce the change. Learn from experts. Make sure you get experts at the table. And if you need to bring somebody in from outside because nobody in your group is an expert in wherever you're trying to change to, make sure you insist experts are at the table. And then, of course, we all know that all stakeholders must have a representation at the table. Or later they'll say, well, I wasn't at the table. I never agreed to that. Right? Make sure all stakeholders are at the table. So, this is really important. People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on, but that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that are there. Choose wisely. Right? Who's that dude?
Steve Jobs.
Choose wisely. There's a lot of good ideas. There's a lot of reasons to change. Right? Is it blind? Is it, is it why? Why are we changing? Why? Because that's the first question people are going to say. Why? Why are we merging two departments? That makes absolutely no sense. Right? How could they come up with this brainstorm? Right? Know the why. Choose carefully. There are times that improvement maybe should not go through. Begin with the mind. It's not how are we going to get this improvement done. It's should we do this improvement. That question comes first. And so often people are already jumping down, well, we could do this and we could do that. Should we do the improvement? First question. Then, how are we going to do the improvement? People skip that step completely. They start at the do. Right? We've all seen that. Then they say, well, I don't know why it wasn't sustainable. Right. Quality is about doing the right thing the right way the first time. So you've got to choose carefully. Not all good ideas are the time to do this now. Right? Okay, factor 3. Here's another area people have a lot of difficulty with. Scope. What happens with most scopes on project?
Scope
Creep. Always bigger than people think. Always. Get into it. Ooh, we need to fix that too, don't we? Ooh, our policy doesn't really align to this new process, does it? Ooh, we're going to need something, It grows. Scope must be clearly defined and small. Now you can break it up, but 9 times out of 10, scope does not match the real object of the outcome that you're looking for. Have all the root causes been defined? Has the undesired result, and this group knows that. How many of you have been in meetings where you can't even agree on the undesired result? Yeah, it's like, what do we want, what do we not want to happen? You'd think that'd be an easy
Failure.
right? Right? Just defining what we don't want sometimes is hard. What changes must occur to sustain the improvement? What types of improvement does it involve? And then what higher levels of goals and strategies does this align with? Because if it's out of alignment with your organization's strategy, guess what? You're going to run into barriers, and all of a sudden it's not going to be the priority it seemed to be the day that you announced it. It has to be aligned. So, to understand scope, I have a little exercise. I'll pass this out here in a bit, but these are things to think about, you know, as you're defining scope. So I put together, I just call it a starter sheet. Just think, if you're thinking of doing change, just things to think about. And this is on there. And so what I'm suggesting with this is if you have a team, so if you're all on my team and we're all going to make this change together, I give you each one of these. I say, okay, circle the things or highlight, mark the things that you think is going to come up relative to our change. And do it by yourself, right now, by yourself. Go through it and see what people say. So some might think that it's strategic, but maybe it's really remedial. Maybe there's been issues and now you're going to start this improvement, right? So maybe some people pick this. Maybe some people think, well, we'll do it in increments, whereas maybe somebody else thinks we got to do this all in one fell swoop. We've got to make a transformation here so this never happens again, right? Is it infrastructure based? Are we lacking a procedure? Is the procedure not complete? Is the procedure need improvement? Is the procedure not current? You know, what is wrong with the procedure? You know, you say, well, we can make this change with the culture we have. Maybe others say, you know what, our culture has to change. For that change to be maintained, our culture has to change, right? So, just see what people pick on their own, in their own head, right? Because everyone sees the vision how they want to. So, you know, one person thinks it's going to just impact our area here, and others may say this is going to impact everybody, the ripple effect, the interconnectivity, all the way through our organization. Involves training, most likely, you know, just have them go through this. You know, we're going to change our goals and incentives now that we're going to do this improvement. Audits and assessment, we used to do an audit once a year, maybe we ought to do one once a month now while we're going through this. Technology, is it needed and involved? You bet, usually it is, right? Get the IT at the table. Personal behavior change, are we going to ask people to change their personal behavior? A big one. So get everybody to do that, then compare notes, right? And everybody says, okay, how many people said this? Okay, unified. Okay, how many? Oh, we got some people that think it's strategic, and some people that think it's disruptive, right? Let's talk about that. Because if your own team isn't on board with why you're doing the change, then again, it's when we all as change leaders go out there, they're going to hear different stories, right? How often does that happen? So everybody has to understand the why the same. And if there's discrepancies, good. Let's talk about it in the planning phase, right? All right. So, yes.
That last screen that's right at the bottom. What's the matter with saying "been there, done that"? I say it frequently. I've done so many things in my career.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be able to use your past experience where it's applicable in the new situation. It isn't necessarily a bad thing to say that.
No, you can say in history, this is what I've seen. That's right, because
It's another way of saying I have experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And others may have different experiences. And maybe we should all talk about our experience and get them on the table, because again, if this is the group that's going to make it happen, we better all be on the same page, right?
Right.
So you have to assess the readiness. piece of